happens is when you click on Eclipse, this is the first thing that will be popped up on your screen. So it will ask you to select the workspace. Now what the workspace is? Workspace basically means where you want to create all your projects. You can select different workspace also. For example, if you're working on a project in data structure course or in programming methodology course or in database course, so you can create different workspace of it. So for example, if you are working on a data structure course, in data structure course, there are different topics, like there are stacks, there are queues, there are trees. So if you want to develop a Java project of each of them, then you should keep that particular all the projects inside a workspace that is named data structures, so that while referring it back, you should know where all your projects are. So workspace is simply a place where you keep all your projects. Now for me, this is by default one that is selected, but I can change it here also. I'll change it to this folder and I'll create a new folder here. I'll name it Java or simply. Once I select this is what my new workspace is. So now when I click on launch, the Eclipse will launch again. It takes few seconds to launch. Is everybody with me? Have you all selected your workspace?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the very first screen. When you select a new workspace, this is the very first screen that you get. So now you'll see that there are different options. My Eclipse was Java EE edition. As I've already mentioned, E stands for Enterprise Edition, and you can develop core Java as well as web Java applications on Eclipse Java EE IDE. As I've already mentioned, IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. So this is the very first screen that will be coming through when you start your Eclipse. I can click here, always show welcome at startup. If I don't want it always, I can simply close this welcome from here. This is just a tab like in your Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. You can close it from here. Now, when you close it, you will find different options. I am sure you will not find this because this is a different plugin that I was working on, and there are different plugins that you can install in Eclipse. That's why we call it integrated development environment. You can install different plugins. You can use different kinds of code. You can install different jar files. But now talking about the very basics, I'll just walk you through what this entire Eclipse environment is all about. So if you go to File and if you go to New, you will find different applications. So you will not find this GWT web application project because this is what I've added separately. I'll tell you how to add different projects also. But now if you go to this, just click on Java, or if you don't have Java project, just click on project. And when you click on project, you will get different options. The first one is Java project. If you're directly getting it in new files, then that is okay. If not, I'll tell you again. Go to new, click on project. If you're getting Java project here, so far so good. But if not, click on this project, new project, and then select Java project from here. Then when you click next, now we are just creating an empty project. We will not be coding it in Eclipse as of now. I'll talk about how to start working from a notepad. What a Java file is, what a class file is, everything. But before going into that, I'm just talking about how to create a project in Eclipse. We will be coming back to Eclipse in part 2 of our today's session, wherein I'll be talking about different object-oriented programming concepts and the programs that we are going to solve on each of them: inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, and abstraction. So now what happens is when you select a new Java project, you should get this create a Java project, enter a project name. So my project name will be first project, for example. And then when it is saying that use a default location, The default location will be the location of your workspace that you have selected while starting Eclipse. Then the execution environment will be different for everybody. You can use any of them. And then before clicking on finish, just select next first. When you go to next, you will see that one src file will be created here. src folder, sorry. src folder is created, which means this is the source folder inside which you have to add all your Java files. Again, there is one option of create module info.java file, which is not required as of now. So I'll just uncheck this. This was checked. I did uncheck this folder. So now click on finish. Now it is asking me to open Java perspective. The reason being there are different perspective here. So mine was web application project was opened. So it is asking me to open Java perspective. So I'll just click on open perspective. For many of them, this option might not come, but if it is coming, just click on open perspective. Now I'll talk about what perspective is. If you see on the top right corner, so this was selected. So this is Java EE. And now the selected one is highlighted in blue. So when I click here, you will see that Java is selected. And that is what it was asking me, that should I shift to Java perspective or not? So this is perspective. There are different kinds of perspective. So if you want to create new perspective, just click here. We don't want to go into the details of what perspective are in the very basic class of Java. So just I have showed you how to create an empty Java project. So now if we go to that particular workspace, now when you go to this workspace, you will find that your first project is created here, the directory that you have just created from Eclipse. And if you go inside this, you will see there are different folders that are created. One of them is src, inside which we will be adding our Java codes. But this is not required now. We'll be looking into Eclipse in the part 2 of our today's session. But if you all have created this project, if you have any of the doubts while creating the project, please ask me now, because this is the first time for some of you who are using Eclipse. So if you have doubts, please ask me. Please get it cleared now.